Welcome, everyone, to the fourth session zero for the upcoming versus actual play, where we make characters with the players. It's been a bit of a hiatus since the last episode, but a very productive one. The system is done and available for anyone to check out on my website, which is exciting. And this week, I am joined by Rebecca Lemell, who's the talented watercolor artist who did all of the landscapes for the rule book, which is super exciting.
It was a pleasure.
It was really fun working together. What do you want to tell people at home about yourself?
I'm Becca. I am a watercolor illustrator. I've worked primarily doing character portraits. I'm starting to move more into children's book illustration. Um, I have not ever done a proper RPG campaign before. I've done a few one-shots in the Versus system with Jonah, and I've done just some like 1v1 RP stuff through Discord. But I'm excited to launch myself into my first real campaign.
Should be a lot of fun.
Should be a lot of fun. I generally play characters that are more sort of cerebral intelligence builds, but this time around, I think I want to try something different, go more the fighting route.
Nice.
So that's what we're going to be doing today.
Yeah, already from the characters you've made for one shots, I can tell you have a real knack for character creation, really understanding their motivations and coming up with really, really fun characters to watch. So I'm really excited to see what you come up with today. Awesome. So you have mentioned that you're interested in playing a more martial character, like a capable fighter. But do you have any other details that could form a high concept that could help us move forward into the actual character creation process?
I'm definitely interested in building like a
Caution. Warning.
watch out.
Yeah, go no further if you are one of the players in the upcoming game. No spoilers.
Get out of here.
Yeah, it'll ruin
Go
it.
watch YouTube or something.
Yeah, there's plenty of things to watch.
Hit that little X button.
Leave now.
Go away. I'm definitely interested in building like a guile-based character as well. I think the idea of having a secret identity that I have to keep protected and sort of adding another level of role playing. Like I'm going to be role playing a character who's role playing as somebody else in the game, unless anybody finds me out. So maybe a fighter who's going undercover in the resistance in Brugge, sort of to undermine the fighters there for whatever reason. I think would be a lot of fun. I think it would bring the group together if we're all in it together, even if they think I'm one of them, and I'm really not. I'm really just there to get inside and tear them apart from the inside.
That's awesome. I love that. All right, so that's super cool. One of the most interesting things about Versus is that it can really easily accommodate these like hidden information roles, secret backgrounds, and that sort of thing. And that's going to be a crucial component of this upcoming actual play. I really want to show people how that can work and be awesome. I just realized though that I need to go back and edit in a warning for all the other players to stop watching this video because this will be just between us and the audience at home. What your true identity is and your true intentions are. Awesome. So with that high concept in mind, we can move forward to actually creating the character. In the hiatus between last episode and this one, I have made a point calculator on the website that does all the math for you. So we're not doing it in Google Docs anymore. It's right here on the sidebar. So that's exciting. We get to use that instead. So we can circle back to a name at the end unless you have a working name that you'd like to put in now.
I think my family name should be Hawthorne, but
Awesome.
I don't know what my like fake name should be
Yeah.
quite yet. It needs to be less evil sounding than that.
You need a couple different names. You're in a unique position. Awesome. Have you thought about attributes at all?
I know I've got to have a pretty high guile and a pretty high strength. I know when I was picturing the character in my mind, she's got like a chest piece armor, and rides a horse. So I
Nice.
know, just based on glancing over the verses document while you were writing it, that in order to have armor, you have to be strong enough so that it's not just like bogging you down all the time. Um,
Yeah, so a D8 strength would allow you to wear plate mail.
that sounds good to me.
Sweet. So let's bump that up to an 8.
And a guile is definitely important because I'm going to be a liar.
Lying your little pants off.
That's what they say.
Yeah, that's an expression or something. Awesome. So let's start with this. You have 6 points spent of your 15 total.
Okay.
We can jump down to skills and traits, and if you want to bump something up later, we can.
I would say I need to take a skill or a trait, I forget which one, in horseback riding, but I think because I'm from Brugge originally, I come with one for free, don't
Yeah,
I?
exactly. So
It's Horse City,
riding,
baby.
it is Horse City. They love those things down there. Riding is a skill,
Okay.
and it's normally 1 point per +1, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a origin trait you can take, and we can just do that one first.
Perfect.
And it's called Bruganese.
Bruganese.
You, like everyone from Brugge, grew up around horses, and you get +2 to riding
Wow. Plus
just for
2 to
free.
riding.
Yeah. So
Pretty damn
that's
good.
a free trait because it's just your origin trait. It's where you're from.
It's free.
It does require for you to have a
Traits.
Brugge knowledge of +3,
Okay.
but everyone gets a location knowledge for free because everyone's from somewhere. You know, that's what they say. The Doors song or something.
I don't know that one.
I don't think it is.
That's okay. But we gotta. I think this is important to get all of your like location skills out of the way first, and then sort of build on top of them. That way, you don't underestimate how many skills you can take.
Exactly, you can double dip. I think I
Exactly.
ran into that when I was making Nolan's character.
Cool. That's our dog. Who
Yeah.
needs to be quiet. I'm
sorry about him.
Yeah.
He's very cute, though. If you want to see him, 1 sec.
He
This-
wanted to be part of the video.
Yeah, he can only be the star of the show. This is Jasper, and
He counts as a sidekick.
yeah, he will probably interfere with the rest of this recording. So I apologize for your ears, but at least he's cute, right?
I think Jasper also made a cameo on the Hidden Gems podcast that Jonah also was on.
Yes, I learned to lean into the dog interruptions from Nick Berry, an excellent editor. That was a lot of fun. You can find a link to that on my website too,
Cool.
if you want to check it out.
So should we hop back into traits or skills or some of the both?
Now that you've gotten your origin trait out of the way, I think we can knock out the rest of the skills that you want.
Okay.
Are you happy with just your +2 writing, or do you want to also spend a point to have a +3 writing?
I want to see what other hobbies I'm into, and then if
Yeah.
I've got any leftover points, I'll definitely bump that up. But I think a +2 in writing from Brugge is already better than average.
Yeah, it's free of charge. Awesome. So fighting, probably, if you're
Yeah.
going to be wearing armor and hitting people with stuff.
Sticks.
And then probably deception, if you're going to...
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you're going to be...
for sure. I forget what the list of all of these is.
Yeah, you're good. You can scroll down
Fighting,
here if there's any
deception.
others that you want.
Let's see what we got. I don't think I need acrobatics. It's going to be pretty hard to do kick flips in my armor.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to
Um,
not be able to dodge anyway because you're playing metal. So.
Magic is like kind of illegal. I think I'm going to be a little bit of like a prude, like of like a government
Traditionalist.
Yeah,
Traditionalist. Yeah, that's
traditionalist,
cool.
Exactly.
Yeah. So no magic for you.
Um,
Super. So I'm assuming you want a few points in each of these.
that sounds good. What's sort of like the recommended skill level of somebody that like grew up learning how to fight? I think my character comes from like a wealthy sort of like manor house background, and I was like trained from a young age in fighting and combat. Even if I've not particularly like been out on the battlefield, it's just sort of something that I grew up in as like a tradition.
Yeah, that's a great description of like an apprentice level proficiency, I think.
Okay.
So that would be probably a +2.
Okay.
Like you have been officially trained by a master, and you have a great foundation, but you're not like battle tested yet. You haven't actually gone to war.
Yeah.
So you're not
If
quite a
I like see
professional.
somebody's arm get chopped off, I'm still gonna be pretty
Yeah.
affected.
So 2 fighting, and then deception isn't quite as much of like a trade or a profession as fighting is.
Mhm.
Kids can be good at lying, you know? So
Kids are very
yeah.
good at lying.
So it's really up to you, but about how many points you want to invest in that
I
category.
would like to be very good at lying,
Cool.
just to make my gameplay smoother. So in the first session, I don't literally get called out for lying to somebody's face.
Yeah.
Also, I think it would be funny if my character grew up like in a sort of like traditional strict household, and so I got good at lying whenever I like snuck out or did something I wasn't supposed to do. I've just sort of always been like a little bit rebellious.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So let's jump down to traits and see where you want to spend the remainder of your points.
Good stuff. I think since I have a skill in writing, I should have a horse.
That's a great idea. Horses are expensive. Not everyone can just start with one.
Stuff. So is that an animal companion?
Yeah, so you have two options. You can either just be wealthy and have bought a horse in addition to other stuff,
Okay.
or you can have a special bond with an animal companion, which is basically a 2 point non-human sidekick.
Okay. I want to be a horse girl.
Cool.
Yeah,
Go all in on the horse
for
girl.
sure. It's like a loyal dog that follows me around.
Yeah. And also the benefit of an animal companion is they can be a little bit smarter than average horse, so they can like obey commands. Like if you want to like tell it to, like wait or like wait for your whistle and like run
Hmm.
after you and stuff,
You can do
you can do
that.
that.
Good stuff. I think that's what I want.
2 points.
2 points.
So you have two left.
Okay. Maybe I should take some negative traits then. Let's see
Yeah,
what
bump
we've
up
got
attributes or
going on.
skills.
Is under which one? Quirks and conditions.
Well, they're all the same. These are
Okay.
just starting points, but you can put anything in any slot.
Okay. Let's see what we've got. I think having like a smoking problem would be really funny. I think
Cool.
my character is a little high strung. Um she's yeah, she needs to take the edge off.
Also, if you're like a rebellious, like noble's daughter,
Yeah,
maybe it's like
exactly.
a
It's like a
natural way
teenager
to, yeah,
thing. It's like
exactly. Cool.
yeah.
I love it. So habits, just you got to smoke every day. If
Okay.
you don't have access to it, you start to get like
I'll get
agitated,
like
fidgety,
withdrawal.
and
Yeah.
get a small penalty to everything that you
Okay.
do.
I think smoking like cigars or cigarettes is not going to be too costly, which is good. I think it's not like a gambling addiction where I'm going to lose a lot of money to
Yeah.
it. It's just going to be something that affects my day to day, and if I don't have it, it will make me
Yeah.
a little salty.
It's a small financial drain, but nothing too significant. It's really only a problem if you like go out into the wilds and there's nowhere to buy it,
Mhm.
or if you are in a place where you're not allowed to smoke, like a high class function or a prison cell, something like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. That's kind of a fun dynamic.
Hmm.
To like be at like a formal gathering and just get slowly more agitated throughout the night just because you can't take a smoke break and see how that sort of impacts your interactions with other people.
Yeah.
Even if like you're like the most well-intentioned person, like the fact that you like don't have your fix is going to impact all of your other interactions. Which
Yeah,
is pretty fun.
I had a fun moment in the last session I ran where the party was at like a pretty high class like function, and one of the characters has a smoking habit, and he like just tried to like spark up in this like high class shop that they were in, and the host like literally took it out of his mouth and like put it out in a drink, and it was like a fun little social interaction. So,
That's exciting.
yeah. Any other traits that you have in mind?
Um you can't be all good, you know? Like can't just like I mean there's no real way to mid max. I just use that word because it's like a buzzword that you've told me.
You can
Again,
min-max.
I've never played D&D. I just repeat what he tells me. Um I think I want to have like a gnarly scar. I think that like
Nice.
kind of fucks. Can I say fucks or is this is on YouTube? That slaps. You can beep it out.
You can totally curse people
It's
out.
okay. Just put a beep there. But yeah, I think like maybe just like something that makes me unattractive
Nice. I like
sounds
it. Yeah.
good.
You want to be
Cause like a woman that wears armor and like sword fights and rides a horse is like too sexy. We have to like take it down.
yeah,
a
you're not trying to be
notch.
like a femme fatale, like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're just like
exactly.
you're a badass
I'm
motherfucker,
yeah.
you know?
I'm just like here to fight and like rebel against my parents and yeah, ride a horse while doing it.
Super. So you're disfigured. You're gonna
Cool.
roll a lower die in guile when charming characters that are
Cool.
attracted to your gender, but it won't
I
affect
will not be
persuasion
charming.
or deception.
That sounds good.
Important, crucially.
That sounds good.
Super. So do you have like burns or like a battle scar where you trampled by a horse? Like what do you have a backstory for the way that you look?
I think it should definitely be like, I don't know, a character forming moment that happened to me, but I'm not quite sure what that's going to be yet.
Cool.
I'm not sure
We can
if,
circle back.
yeah, maybe it'll be like somebody wanted me dead and they didn't quite do a good enough job, or like I was riding a horse and fell off, but like I don't have fear of horses, which I know is a trait. So I think that's not a good reason for my
Right.
scar. Um,
Cool.
yeah.
No, I appreciate that as well because I don't want to name names, but someone else in the campaign does have a phobia of horses. So I don't want everyone just be terrified as soon as the first horse shows up. Um, Sweet. Well, we can circle back to how
That should like give me an intimidation +1 to that character.
yeah.
Just like intimidation +1 when your horse is standing
Yeah,
behind
if
you.
you ride up on him and you're on horseback,
Or like
it's not gonna
I'm
be good.
like, don't you do that, and then like because my horse can like follow commands, it just like
He'll
also
just stand behind you
yeah,
with his
and
arms
he's
crossed. It's like BoJack Horseman. Okay.
yeah, my horse is bipedal. I know.
Yeah, exactly. You have to pay one
I
extra
ride on
point
his
for that.
shoulders.
All
yeah.
right. Sweet. So disfigured,
Okay.
smoking, habit, animal companion, Bruganese. Let's see. You're sitting still at 11 points.
Okay,
So you
maybe I
got.
should bump up one of the primaries.
I have. You
Okay.
can take attributes. I think you totally can, especially if you want to be like extra burly or a slightly better fighter. I think if you're going to be living this double life where
Mhm.
you are totally misleading a bunch of people to one specific thing, there is a guile focused trait specifically for you called practiced facade.
Perfect.
That I would totally recommend.
That sounds like it.
Let's see here. So it's a 2-point trait. It's pretty expensive, but you've lived a specific lie so long you almost believe it yourself. When you roll a deception concerning the chosen topic, you roll twice and use the higher result, which is a very rare ability in this game that allows you to basically never roll ones. So you can't just like slip up and let someone onto you. Like you're going to be incredibly consistent when you're convincing people that you are genuinely for this cause.
That sounds sick. I love that. All right. So I think I want to bump up an attribute, which means I have to go down in one of my skills, which maybe since I have the practiced facade,
Mm,
um,
you won't
secondary
need
skill, I
such a
won't
high
need as much
deception here.
deception. If we just bump it down to a 2, does that give me enough to spare?
It does.
Okay. Let's put it in agility, maybe? Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then your agility can be an 8 as well.
Can be an 8. That sounds good. I don't need to be like the smartest, but I think especially if I'm a fighter, agility is important. And then I think I also want to be like reckless because I am a fighter. I think I just want to be like ready to fight. Like if I'm in a bar and like 2 people are fighting, like that's a third party, I'm just gonna like throw myself in there. I'm
Nice.
just like I'm wearing my armor, I've got my sword, I'm just like I like fighting. It's not just like that I'm trained in it, it's that I genuinely enjoy doing
Makes you
it so
feel
much.
alive.
Yeah, that I want to just get into any any fight that I can.
Fantastic. So reckless is a 0-point trait because it both makes you brave, but also makes you have to charge into battle if you have an opportunity to.
That makes
Um,
sense.
yeah. So
Balances
it
itself
balances
out.
itself out.
Yeah.
It's a 0-point trait, but I think it fits your character really well. So you can
Perfect.
take it. So yeah, with 2 points in traits and 4 points in skills and 9 points in attributes, you're a 15-point character. The only thing left is a secondary skill that you need, and this is just a free. Every character gets a hobby, and
And I get to pick from the list.
animal care might be good since
Animal care,
you're good at
etiquette would be interesting since I'm
etiquette.
kind of from like a
Definitely from a
background.
well-to-do
Yeah.
family.
Yeah. But I feel like it would sort of interfere with like my smoking habit and being reckless. Like much is etiquette gonna
just
come
because
in
you
here?
know about etiquette doesn't mean you have to follow it.
Yeah. Um, yeah, maybe just like animal care because I love my horse.
Perfect.
I've taken animal care before in a different.
You're just a horse
I'm
girl.
just a horse girl in every RPG that I.
Awesome. So you're a totally balanced character. You're ready to play, but I think we need to elaborate on your backstory a little bit because you have this background where you are from a noble house, but you don't have any of like the wealth or reputation traits that might
Mhm.
come along with that background. So
I
what
was
happened?
I was thinking that like well, since I'm going to be like sort of undercover as another person, it would just be incredibly obvious if I was wealthy, just spending a bunch of money. Everybody would obviously know that I'm not one of the common people. As well as sort of, I imagine I'm not on the best of terms like with my family, that I've sort of like run off to do my own sort of radical idea of going undercover. That's not really something that like the nobles would put in place. It's not really their style, so my family doesn't support what I'm doing.
Cool.
They still probably like love me, but they're not going to fund my
Dangerous,
espionage
yeah, extracurriculars.
extracurriculars
Cool.
exactly.
Cool.
So I've just sort of got the armor on my back and my horse,
Yeah.
and I'm going out into the world to lie to
Fantastic.
people.
And you don't have the prestige of being a noble because you
I'm
can't
taking a different name. I'm not saying like,
exactly.
oh, I'm from the Hawthorne family. Like,
Yeah, exactly. You're not
let
throwing
me
that
through the
name
gate.
around. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. So you're not gonna be able to use that as an asset because you refuse to admit it, which is
Yes,
very cool.
exactly.
Awesome. Well, I really am excited to see how Hawthorne works out. We'll come up with some names before the first session and
For
flesh
sure.
out the rest of your backstory. But I'm really excited to see how this whole hidden information thing is going to play out. And yeah, it's going to be very exciting.
That's really fun. Thanks for inviting me to the campaign.
Definitely, definitely. So yeah, session 1 should be coming soon. Stay tuned for that, and we have one more character creation, session 0, to knock out, and then we'll be locked and loaded. I'm really excited. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thanks for watching the video. If you want to follow my artistic endeavors, you can follow me at Rebecca May Illustrations on Instagram. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, and thanks for dealing with our dog. I'm gonna try to edit out all the barks. There were a lot of them, but I'm not gonna be able to get them all. So, thanks,
Bye, guys.